I never thought life could feel this perfect. Every morning, Clara's smile greeted me like sunlight spilling into our apartment. "Morning, Alex," she said today, tying her hair back, her voice soft, warm. "Coffee's ready." "Thanks, love," I replied, wrapping my arms around her from behind. She smelled like vanilla and lavender, a scent I'd memorized over years. "You look happy," I whispered. "I am," she said, laughing lightly. "Busy week at work, but happy." I watched her move around the kitchen, thinking about how lucky I was. Friends always told me, "You guys are goals," and family hinted that no one had a marriage like ours. I never doubted it. Not once. Later, I met Ryan at our usual cafe. "Man, you look like you haven't slept," he said, stirring his coffee. "Yeah, long week," I muttered, but a smile tugged at my lips. "Things are good." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "You sure? You seem off." "Clara okay. She's fine. Busy with her new job, that's all," I said quickly. Deep down, a tiny unease flickered. Ryan noticed it immediately, I could tell. "Just don't ignore your gut, Alex," he said softly. "Sometimes the people we trust the most." He let the sentence hang. I nodded, forcing a laugh. "I know, man. I trust her. I really do." At work, Sophie stopped me by the printer. "Hey, Alex," she said, voice low. "Have you noticed Clara acting weird lately?" I blinked, caught off guard. "Weird how?" "Nothing huge," she said, glancing around. "Just secretive texts, sneaky smiles at her phone. Maybe I'm reading too much into it." I shook my head. "No, you're probably seeing things. Clara's just busy." I tried to convince myself more than her. "Thanks for worrying, though." That night, Clara and I had dinner on the balcony. The city lights shimmered below, and I held her hand, feeling content. "You've been quiet," she said, looking at me. "Everything okay?" "Yeah. Just thinking about work," I lied, smiling. Clara leaned against me. "You always get lost in your head." "I know," I admitted. "But I'm happy. With us." She smiled and kissed my cheek. "I'm happy too, Alex. More than anything." I thought about that, about her smile, her touch, the easy way we laughed together. I wanted to believe nothing could ever touch us. But there was that tiny flicker again, the suspicion Ryan and Sophie hinted at. I pushed it aside. Stress. Work. Nothing more. Later, lying in bed, I watched her sleep and whispered, "I love you, Clara." She mumbled back, half asleep, "I love you too." Felt like a vow. A promise I thought unbreakable. The next morning, she left early for work. I lingered by the door, watching her go. "Have a good day," I called softly. "You too, love," she replied, smiling, unaware of the small pang in my chest I couldn't explain. I grabbed my coffee, thinking about how life felt steady, perfect even. Maybe that was naive. Maybe I'd learned soon enough that perfect isn't always what it seems. But in that moment, I was untouchable. My wife was mine, my life was ours, and nothing else mattered. Even if I sensed deep down that life sometimes whispers warnings we choose to ignore. I woke to my phone buzzing on the nightstand. Clara's name flashed on the screen. I answered. "Hey," I said, voice thick with sleep. "Sorry, I forgot to text," she said quickly. "Had to stay late. You know how it is." "Late? Again?" I tried to sound casual, but the unease in my chest tightened. "Yeah, you know the new project. Crazy deadlines," she laughed, the sound light, almost dismissive. "Don't worry about me." "Okay," I muttered. Something didn't sit right. Later that day, Ryan grabbed me outside the office. "Man, you look off again. What's going on?" "It's nothing," I said, forcing a smile. "Just a little tired." He shook his head. "Don't lie to me. You know Clara, right?" I nodded slowly. "I do." "And you trust her?" His eyes narrowed. "I do," I admitted, though the words felt weaker than I wanted. Ryan frowned. "Because sometimes trust is blind, Alex. Just saying." I let it drop. I wanted to believe him wrong. That night, Clara's phone buzzed constantly. I glanced at it from the kitchen counter. A name I didn't recognize appeared, Liam. My stomach twisted. I told myself it was harmless. Just a friend. I waited until she sat down across from me, a glass of wine in her hand. "Busy day?" I asked casually. "Very," she said, smiling. "Emails, meetings, you know how it is." "You stayed late again?" I tried to keep my voice calm. "Yeah. You sound worried." "I'm not," I lied. "You're always overthinking," she said, reaching across the table to squeeze my hand. "Trust me, okay?" I nodded, but the doubt lingered. A few nights later, I caught her leaving quietly at 11. "Clara?" I called softly. "Shoo," she whispered, smiling. Just a quick errand. What kind of errand at this hour? My heart raced. Coffee for the team, she said, though her eyes darted away. I frowned but let it go, telling myself I was imagining things. The next morning Ryan cornered me again. She's hiding something, he said bluntly. I saw her texting someone late last night. I don't know, I admitted, rubbing my face. Maybe I'm paranoid. You're not, he insisted. Call me crazy, but something's off. Later, my own doubts deepened when Liam called. Hi, is this Alex? His voice was smooth, confident. Yes, I said cautiously. I'm Liam, Clarice. Well, X thought I should touch base. Touch base. My chest tightened. About what? Nothing serious. Just checking in, he said casually. But I could hear the charm, the ease, the way he slid into my mind like a shadow. I hung up, shaking. Why is he calling her? Why now? Clara walked in moments later, humming. Everything okay? Yes, I said quickly. Just a work thing. She smiled, oblivious or pretending to be. Good. Don't stress yourself. I wanted to ask more, to demand the truth. But I didn't. Part of me still trusted her. Part of me wanted to believe in the life we built together. That night, lying in bed, I watched her sleep. The shadow of doubt lingered. I remembered Ryan's words, Liam's call, and the late-night sneaks. I must be overthinking, I whispered to the darkness. It's probably nothing. But the gnawing feeling didn't leave. Something was coming. I could feel it in my chest, like a storm gathering behind my ribs. Clara stirred, murmured my name, and smiled in her sleep. My stomach twisted. Could I still trust her? Or was this just the beginning of losing everything? I didn't know. But I knew one thing. I couldn't ignore the signs any longer. I never planned to come home early that day. Work had dragged on forever and I just wanted to surprise Clara. I unlocked the door and stepped in. Clara? I called, tossing my bag down. No answer. The apartment was quiet, too quiet. Then I saw them. Claire. Liam. Kissing. Time froze. My chest tightened, my stomach dropped, and my hands went numb. I couldn't move. My mind screamed, but my mouth wouldn't. Alex. Clara's voice broke through, panicked. I shook my head, trying to process. What the hell is this? My voice cracked, but I couldn't stop the words. It's not what it looks like, she stammered, stepping back. I can explain. I laughed bitterly, a sound I barely recognized. Not what it looks like. Clara, he's your ex. And my throat caught. You're kissing him. Liam straightened, hands in his pockets, calm. Alex, man, we weren't expecting you. Not expecting me? I yelled. You were kissing in my living room. Not expecting me? Do you even care about me at all? Clara reached for my hand. Alex, please. It's complicated. I didn't mean for you to find out this way. Complicated? I snapped. This is our home, Clara. Our home. And you betrayed me? I didn't think. She tried again, but I couldn't listen. My mind spun. Every memory, every moment we shared, was it all a lie? I trusted you, I whispered, voice trembling. Everything I did, everything I gave, was for you. I know, she said, tears in her eyes. I messed up. But I still love you. Liam shrugged. Alex, come on. Don't take it so hard. It's not like we planned this. Not planned? I screamed. I walk in here and see you both like this and it's not planned? My knees felt weak. I turned, almost wanting to run away, but my chest burned with betrayal. I grabbed my bag. I can't do this. Alex, wait. Clara called after me. Please, listen. No. I snapped, slamming the door behind me. My heart pounded. My mind raced. I couldn't think straight, couldn't breathe. I just walked. I called Ryan immediately. Ryan, I saw them. I saw Clara, with him. There was silence for a moment. Then he said, damn it. I knew something felt off. Are you okay? No, I admitted. I can't. What the hell do I do? Do you want me to come over? He asked. Yeah, I said, voice raw. Please. A few minutes later, Ryan showed up. He sat beside me on my couch. You need to talk to her. Talk. I laughed hollowly. Talk? Ryan, she kissed him in our living room. I don't think talk is enough. You're right, he said soberly. You're hurt. But don't make a decision while your head's spinning. She's going to try to manipulate you. I ran my hands through my hair. I don't even know who she is anymore. Everything feels fake. That's normal, Ryan said. Just don't do anything stupid. Don't go back there right now. Let it sink in. Later I called Sophie. Sophie? I don't even know. I walked in and her voice was firm. Alex, breathe. Don't let anger drive you. Revenge feels good at first, but it'll eat you alive. Think before you act. Think about what you really want. I feel sick, I admitted. I trusted her. I loved her. I know, she said gently. And that's why it hurts so much. But you have to protect yourself. Not for her. For you. I hung up, staring at the blank wall. My chest ached. My mind raced through every detail. Her smile this morning, the casual way she greeted me, the way she laughed at work emails. Were all those moments lies? I felt hollow but also, strangely alive. Betrayal burned like fire, sharp and unforgiving. My hands shook and I wanted to scream, to hit something, anything, but I stayed silent. I walked the streets for hours, letting the city swallow me. Every laugh, every couple I passed felt like a reminder. Finally, I whispered to myself, was everything a lie? Was all of it just pretend? And I knew I couldn't go back. Not yet. Not until I figured out what I wanted, what I needed, and how to survive this. I didn't sleep that night. Or the next. Or the one after. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard Clara's voice. It's complicated. I laughed at the memory, bitter and sharp. Ryan called me. You haven't shown up to work. I can't, I said. You need to eat. I don't want to. That's not an option, Alex. Neither was being betrayed, I snapped. There was silence. Then he said, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about me too, I admitted. I stopped answering messages. Sophie knocked on my door one evening. You look awful, she said gently. I feel worse, I replied. You can't hide forever. I'm not hiding, I said. I'm surviving. She nodded slowly. Surviving is fine. But don't let anger decide your future. Anger was all I had left. It kept me standing when grief tried to crush me. I finally booked a therapy session because I couldn't hear my own thoughts anymore. Dr. Evelyn Grant sat across from me, calm, patient. Tell me what hurts, she said. My marriage, I replied instantly. My trust. My pride. What do you feel when you think of Clara? Rage, I said. And shame. I keep replaying every moment. Every smile. I wonder which ones were real. That's grief, she said softly. No, I argued. It's humiliation. Both can exist, she replied. I stared at the floor. I loved her. I planned my life around her. And now I feel empty. She leaned forward. Do you want revenge? The question startled me. Sometimes, I want her to hurt like I do. And after that? I don't know, I admitted. She nodded. Revenge promises relief. It rarely delivers peace. That night, Clara texted me. Please talk to me. I typed back, then deleted it. Typed again. Deleted again. You don't get access to me anymore, I whispered. I remembered our wedding day. Forever, she'd said, smiling. I remembered believing her without doubt. That memory burned the most. Ryan showed up unannounced. You look thinner, he said. I haven't been hungry. That's not strength, he said. That's punishment. Maybe I deserve it. No, he said firmly. She made a choice. Not you. I clenched my fist. She destroyed everything. She revealed who she was, he corrected. The words stuck with me. In another session, Dr. Grant asked, What do you want now? I want control, I said. Over her? Over myself, I corrected. That's healthier, she said. But harder, I admitted. I stopped checking Clara's social media. I stopped rereading old messages. Each step felt like tearing off skin. One night, anger surged again. She doesn't get to move on happy, I muttered. Then I heard Sophie's voice in my head. Don't let revenge rewrite who you are. I sat in the dark, breathing slowly. I won't go back, I said aloud. I won't beg. I won't chase. The pain didn't vanish. But something shifted. I realized I could let karma work or I could poison myself chasing justice. I choose me, I whispered. And for the first time since that night, the silence didn't feel unbearable. I moved out of our apartment that week. Carrying boxes felt like carrying pieces of myself I wasn't ready to let go of. Ryan helped me load the car. Looks lighter than I expected, he said, lifting a box. Feels heavier than ever, I muttered. Old memories? He asked. I nodded. All of them. Every laugh, every lie, every moment I thought mattered. He shrugged. Better to face it than let it rot inside you. I drove to my new place in silence. The apartment was smaller, but mine. I unpacked, arranging things carefully like I could restore control over my life by moving things into neat piles. The next day I went to work. My manager handed me a new project. Big responsibility, she said. Thought you'd be perfect for it. I'll take it, I said. Finally something felt mine again. Maya, a coworker I'd only exchanged small talk with before, stopped me by the coffee machine. New project? She asked. Yeah, I said, avoiding her eyes. You look lighter somehow, she said. Like you're taking back control. I blinked. Trying to. She smiled. Good. Don't let anyone steal your energy. Especially someone who doesn't deserve it. I nodded. Yeah, thanks. After work, Ryan called. You're up for dinner tonight? Sure, I said. Sitting with him reminded me I wasn't alone. We talked about small things, work, movies, sports, but he noticed the shadow behind my eyes. You're doing better, he said. I am, I said, though my voice wavered. Still, messy, but better. That night I started journaling, writing down the betrayal, the anger, the nights I couldn't sleep. I wrote about Clara, Liam, the apartment, the lies. Then I wrote about me, what I wanted, what I deserved. The page filled quickly. I felt lighter. Then my phone buzzed. Claire. I stared at her name. My finger hovered over the screen. What could she possibly want? I whispered. Alex, please. I messed up. I love you. I was wrong. Can we talk? I deleted the message without replying. No, I said aloud. No more. Maya's words echoed in my head. Don't let anyone steal your energy. I felt a small spark of strength I hadn't had in weeks. I went for a run that evening. The city lights blurred past me as I breathed in the cold air. Anger still simmered, but grief was quieter now. I could feel my pulse, my heart beating for me, not for her. Ryan called later. How's the new apartment? Feels like a fresh start, I said. Small but mine. Good, he said. I can tell you're reclaiming yourself. I am, I said. I still think about her sometimes, but it's different. Less painful. Sophie stopped by a few days later. You look peaceful, she said. I feel stronger, I admitted. Still angry, still hurt, but I'm standing on my own now. Exactly, she said. Don't let her shadow creep back in. You're not a victim. That night I wrote again. This time I made plans. Short-term goals. Long-term goals. Projects I wanted to tackle, things I wanted to learn, people I wanted to meet. Clara wasn't on any list. Goodbye, I whispered, closing my journal. The spark of hope stayed with me as I slept. For the first time in months, I wasn't drowning. I was walking slowly, step by step, toward something better. I knew karma would catch up with her eventually. I didn't need to chase it. My focus was on me, my growth, my life. And for the first time, I believed I could rebuild completely, not as someone Clara left behind, but as someone whole, strong, and untouchable. I heard a whisper in the office today. Liam was cheating on Clara. At first, I wanted to ignore it, but the gnawing fire inside me wouldn't let me. Ryan, I muttered over coffee, you won't believe this. Liam's seeing someone else. Ryan leaned back, frowning. Really? Yes, I said, voice low. And Clara, she's desperate. She wants him back. Can you believe that? Ryan shook his head. Alex, don't do anything stupid. Revenge won't fix this. Trust me. I know, I said, though my stomach twisted. But I can't just sit here. Do you want justice or satisfaction? He asked. I frowned. What's the difference? Justice is measured, he said. Satisfaction is messy. Anger-driven. I thought about Clara posting happy pictures with Liam online, texting him like nothing happened. My chest tightened. I just want people to see the truth. Alex, that's still revenge, he said carefully. Maybe, I admitted. But I won't stoop to cruelty. I just let the truth out. Later, I pulled out my phone, scrolling through her messages. I could expose her without attacking, just facts. Names, dates, screenshots. Nothing inflammatory. Just evidence. Are you sure about this? Ryan asked when I showed him. I have to be, I said. I can't let her lies go unchecked. He sighed. Okay. Just stay calm. Don't let anger drive it. I drafted a message to a few mutual friends, careful, neutral. I think it's fair everyone knows Clara's been seeing Liam behind my back. Alex, Ryan hesitated. I'm not lying, I said firmly. Just sharing facts. That's it. I sent it. The weight lifted immediately, like I'd let air into a locked room. but relief came with guilt. You okay? Ryan asked. I feel strange, I admitted. Satisfied maybe. But guilty too. I didn't attack her. I just exposed the truth. Good, he said. Measured. Not revenge. That's the line. Later Sophie called. I saw the messages, she said. How are you holding up? I feel lighter, I said. Like I took control without losing myself. You did, she said. And you stayed above it. That's huge. But then I heard the rumor, Clara was trying to win Liam back. Laughing at dinners he attended, sending flowers, crying to friends. My stomach churned. Why does she think she can manipulate him again? I muttered aloud. Because some people never learn, Sophie said softly. But you did. You're not her anymore. I nodded, repeating it in my head. I'm not her anymore. I'm not her anymore. Even as I left the office, a small part of me burned with the thrill of knowing she'd been exposed, but I reminded myself, measured, controlled. I wasn't her. That night I texted Ryan. It's done. She knows people are aware. Good, he replied. Now walk away. Let her deal with the consequences herself. I will, I said, swallowing the tight knot of anger. I sat on my balcony, staring at the city lights, thinking about the choices I made. I could have ruined her, hurt her, let anger drive me. But I didn't. I whispered to the wind, this is my revenge. The satisfaction was sweet but calm. No shouting, no lies, no cruelty. Just balance restored in a small way. And for the first time in weeks, I felt a strange mix of power and peace. I realized revenge doesn't have to be loud or violent. Sometimes truth alone is enough. And I didn't have to be the monster to make her feel consequences. I could walk away. Stronger, wiser, untouchable. I heard about Liam first at work. Alex, Maya said quietly, did you see the news? What news? I asked, leaning back in my chair. Liam's being investigated for fraud, she said. His company caught him embezzling funds. I blinked. What? Yeah. It's all over the finance boards, she said. Apparently he's in serious trouble. I felt a strange mix of satisfaction and disbelief. That's karma, I muttered. Ryan called that afternoon. Did you see what's happening with Clara? No, I said. What now? She's losing credibility at work. Everyone's talking about Liam and, well, her involvement, he said gently. I laughed softly, bitterly. I can't say I feel sorry for her. Ryan sighed. Be careful, Alex. Don't get too caught up in their chaos. Focus on you. I am, I said. But watching them unravel, it's strangely relieving. Later I ran into Sophie. I heard Clara's family found out, she said. They're furious. She's losing friends, Alex. I noticed, I said. I'm trying to stay out of it, but I can't ignore it. You've done nothing wrong, she reminded me. You're not responsible for her choices. I know, I admitted. But it's hard to watch. Part of me feels like this is justice, part of me is just curious. You deserve to be curious, she said. You survived her betrayal. You earned a front row seat. I smiled faintly. Maybe. It still stings sometimes remembering what I lost. That night I called Dr. Grant. Evelyn, I keep thinking about Clara, I admitted. And now everything's falling apart for her and Liam. Are you feeling vindictive? She asked. No, I said. Not exactly. More detached. Observing consequences. Letting life handle them. That's growth, Alex, she said softly. You're no longer tied to their choices. You're free to focus on yourself. I leaned back in my chair. I guess I am. I don't feel the rage I did before. Just clarity. Good, she said. How's work? Your new projects? Challenging, I admitted. But I enjoy it. I feel capable again. Like I'm rebuilding myself. That's the point, she said. Your happiness and stability aren't dependent on anyone else. I hung up and thought about Clara's attempts to reach me. Messages begging for a meeting, crying emojis, desperate texts. I didn't reply. Why am I not responding? I whispered to myself. Because you've moved on, I said aloud, almost surprised by the firmness in my voice. I checked her social media briefly. Desperate posts. She tagged Liam in photos, trying to look happy, trying to convince the world, and herself, that she mattered. I laughed softly. You're only showing everyone your weakness, I said. Even her calls at work, begging me to talk, couldn't reach me. I stayed silent. Detached. Come. I realized I didn't need to intervene. I didn't need to explain, defend, or manipulate. Life was doing it for me. I went out for a drink with Ryan. Feels weird, doesn't it? I said. Watching karma play out without touching it? Feels liberating, he said. You don't have to be a part of their chaos anymore. You've earned that. I nodded. It's strange. I want to feel satisfaction, but it's quiet. Come. Observing. I think that's better than revenge. Much better, he said. A few weeks later, Clara tried one last time. A voicemail. Alex, please, I was wrong. I'll do anything. I deleted it immediately. Good, I said aloud. Nothing from her will shake me now. The fire I once had for anger cooled into steady warmth. I was no longer obsessed with her life. I had work, friends, and small victories. I could laugh again. Even when news arrived that Liam had been fired and Clara was facing ostracism, I only nodded. Life had delivered consequences without my interference. I whispered to myself, justice without cruelty. That's the way it should be. And as I sat on my balcony that night, the city lights stretching endlessly, I felt the truth. I had survived betrayal. I had grown. I had reclaimed my life. They were falling apart and I was standing tall. And for the first time it felt like pure, quiet satisfaction. My phone buzzed with Clara's name. I froze. Alex, she texted. We need to talk. It's important. I hesitated, then called. What is it? I'm pregnant, she said, voice trembling. I felt a cold knot form in my stomach. Pregnant? With Liam? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. No, she said quickly. I don't know. Maybe. I just need your support. I closed my eyes. Support? Clara, you lied about everything else. Why would I trust this? I'm serious, she whispered. Please, Alex. I hung up. My head spun. Questions swirled. Fear. Suspicion. Rage. I called Ryan immediately. Ryan, she says she's pregnant, I said, pacing. You mean, Clara? He asked. Yes. But Liam says it's not his, I said. I don't know what to think. Alex, don't jump to conclusions, he said carefully. You need proof. Don't let her manipulate you again. I know, I muttered. But I can't just ignore it. I decided to investigate quietly. A few days later I called Liam. Hey Liam. She told me about the pregnancy. Is it true? No, he said bluntly. I'm not the father. I don't even know how she's saying that. I felt the knot tighten further. Are you sure? Positive. Alex, I don't want trouble. But this isn't mine, he said. I thanked him and hung up. My mind raced. Lies, manipulations, betrayals. I had grown strong, controlled, but this tested me in ways I hadn't expected. Ryan came over. Any luck? He asked, seeing my expression. She's lying, I said. Or at least, inconsistent. Liam confirms he's not involved. Then what now? He asked. I don't know, I admitted. Do I confront her? Do I ignore her? Do I forgive her for trying to drag me back into her chaos? Sophie called later. Alex, be careful. Don't let your emotions make decisions you'll regret. I know, I said. But it's hard. She's still trying to control the story, control me. Even now. A few days later, Detective Harris contacted me. I understand you need clarity, he said. We can help verify her claims medically and legally if needed. Thank you, I said. I just want the truth. Then let's find it calmly, he said. I scheduled a discreet appointment. Sitting in the waiting room, my hands shook slightly. I thought about every lie Clara ever told, every moment I doubted myself. And yet, I still wanted closure. Later Harris called. Alex, we've confirmed it. Clara is not pregnant. I exhaled slowly, feeling a mixture of relief, anger, and disbelief. Of course she's not, I muttered. You're handling this well, he said. Don't let her drama pull you in. I won't, I said firmly. That night I called Ryan. It's not true. She was lying again. I know you feel vindicated, he said, but remember, you don't need to engage. Stay above it. I will, I promised. I thought about Clara's texts, her voice, the way she always tried to reel me back. I realized I didn't have to respond. I didn't have to confront, argue, or forgive. I could simply be done. I whispered to myself, I survived the lies. I survived her. And for the first time in weeks, I felt complete control over my own life again. Calm, detached, strong. Even as her world continued to twist, I knew my life no longer revolved around Clara's manipulations. Detective Harris had given me the clarity I needed. Liam's honesty had confirmed it. and I could finally close this chapter without drama, revenge, or regret. I looked out the window, the city lights stretching endlessly, and smiled faintly. I was free. I saw her waiting outside the cafe, leaning against the wall like she owned the world. My chest tightened. I swallowed. "Clara," I said, voice low. "Alex," she said, smiling like everything was normal. "I'm glad you came." "I didn't come for coffee," I said, taking a step closer. "I came to say something once and for all." She tilted her head. "Oh? What's that?" "You destroyed my trust," I said, voice shaking. "Every lie, every betrayal, every kiss with him, was it all worth it?" "I made mistakes," she said softly. You made mistakes?" I laughed bitterly. "Clara, you lied. You manipulated. You betrayed me in ways I didn't think anyone could. You didn't make mistakes. You chose to hurt me." She flinched. Alex, You don't get to interrupt," I said, tone firm. "Do you know what it feels like to come home and see the person you love kissing someone else? Do you know what it feels like to think your whole life was a lie?" Her eyes filled with tears. I was confused. "I didn't mean." "Don't," I said sharply. "Don't start with excuses. Don't try to justify yourself. I've listened to your lies long enough." "I still love you," she whispered. I shook my head. Love doesn't destroy, Clara. It doesn't betray, it doesn't lie. And it sure as hell doesn't demand forgiveness when you don't deserve it." She reached for my hand. "Please, just one more chance." I pulled my hand back. "No. One more chance is all I gave you before. I let you back into my life, into my heart, and you destroyed it. I'm done." "Alex, Stop," I said firmly. "Stop trying to manipulate me. I see through it now. I'm stronger than your lies. I'm not afraid of being alone anymore." Her lips trembled. "Please, just think." "I've thought," I said. "I've lived through your lies, your chaos, your manipulation. And now I'm walking away. Permanently." I reached into my pocket and pulled out the apartment keys I still had. I held them up. "These aren't mine anymore," I said. I dropped them into her hand. The metal clinked against the concrete. "Consider this the end of everything we were." She stared at me, silent, stunned. No words, no excuses, no tears that could pull me back. I turned. I walked away, each step lighter than the last. Every memory, every betrayal, every night I cried, turned into lessons. Strength, power, independence. Behind me I heard her whisper, "Alex?" But I didn't stop. I didn't look back. Ryan called that evening. "How did it go?" I smiled faintly. "She tried. She failed. And I left her with nothing but the truth and the keys." "That's good," he said softly. "I'm proud of you." "I'm proud of me too," I said. "For the first time in months I feel untouchable." Sophie texted later, "You did the right thing. You didn't stoop, you didn't fight. You won." I typed back, "Thanks. Feels like freedom." As I walked through the empty streets, I felt the weight of the past finally lift. Clara was alone now. Liam was gone. And I was free. I thought about everything I'd endured. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the sleepless nights, the lies. And I realized something profound. None of it could break me. Not anymore. I whispered to myself, I survived. I'm stronger. I'm free. The city lights reflected off the pavement. My shadow stretched long and steady in front of me. It felt like a promise to myself. No one, not even her, could touch me again. I smiled faintly and kept walking. Each step was deliberate, each breath mine. I didn't need closure from her. I had it in myself. And for the first time in years I felt complete. Empowered. I was done with the past. I was ready for my future. I woke up that morning and didn't think about Clara. For the first time in months, my thoughts weren't tangled in lies, betrayals, or what-ifs. "Morning, Alex," Ryan said, sliding a cup of coffee across the table. "Morning," I said, taking it gratefully. "Feels lighter today." "Good," he said, smiling. "You're finally letting go." "I think so," I admitted. "It's still strange. I thought freedom would feel different. But it's peaceful, quiet, controlled." "You earned it," he said firmly. "You survived her. You rebuilt yourself." Later at work, Maya stopped me near the printer. "Big project done yet?" she asked. "Almost," I said, smiling. "It's challenging, but I'm learning a lot." "That's the spirit," she said. "I can see the difference. You're focused, confident, and independent." "I am," I said. "Thanks for noticing." She nodded. You deserve to feel proud of yourself. During lunch I called Sophie. Hey, I said. Hey Alex. How's it going? She asked. Better. I feel steady now. The chaos is behind me, I said. That's great, she said. You've grown a lot. And you'll keep growing. I know, I said. I've learned some hard lessons. Trust, boundaries, how to protect myself emotionally. Exactly, she said. Betrayal can destroy, but it can also teach you what you're capable of. I smiled, thinking about all the nights I cried, the sleepless hours, the moments I doubted myself. I never thought I'd get here, I said. You did, she said. And that's what matters. After work I met Ryan for a walk. You're different, he said. Calmer. Stronger. You don't chase, you don't react, you observe. You lead your life now. I feel that way, I said. It's a strange mix, peace and energy at the same time. You earned it, he said. And you know what? Clara won't affect you anymore. Not even a little. I know, I said. I've stopped checking, stopped hoping, stopped feeling anger. It's just me now. Back at my apartment, I sat with my journal. I wrote about the last year, the betrayal, the heartbreak, the revenge, and the lessons learned. I wrote about myself, the person I'm becoming. Stronger, wiser, more cautious, but also more open to genuine connections. Maya called later. Dinner? She asked. Sure, I said. I feel like celebrating small victories. Good, she said. You've worked hard for them. During dinner, Ryan joined us unexpectedly. Surprise, he said, grinning. Perfect timing, I said. It feels like closure. Not in a dramatic way, just peaceful. He nodded. Exactly. Life goes on. You've taken control of yours. We laughed, shared stories, and talked about small goals, weekend plans, work ambitions, new hobbies. I realized then that my life wasn't defined by heartbreak or betrayal. It was defined by the people who stayed, by the choices I made, and by the strength I discovered in myself. Walking home later, I whispered to myself, I survived. I'm stronger. I'm free. The city lights glimmered, and my shadow stretched long and steady on the pavement. For the first time in months I felt hope. Real hope, not tied to anyone else. I thought about Clara one last time, not with anger, not with grief, but with quiet acceptance. She was a chapter, a teacher, and nothing more. I smiled faintly and kept walking. Each step was deliberate, each breath mine. The heartbreak remained, a subtle ache in the back of my mind, but it didn't define me. I had my life back, my focus, my friendships, and my sense of self. I had my peace. And as the night wrapped around me, I realized the truth. Betrayal had tested me, but it had also transformed me. I wasn't the same man who walked in that apartment months ago. I was stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever came next. I whispered into the cool night air, life goes on. And so do I.